The film Joker depicts Gotham City's system as severely broken in several ways that contribute to Arthur Fleck's descent into madness and becoming the Joker. In the movie, Arthur struggles to access the mental health treatment and medication he requires due to long wait times, bureaucratic obstacles, and insufficient resources within the mental health system. This lack of proper care and support causes Arthur to feel increasingly unstable. Additionally, Arthur relies on government assistance programs for his basic needs, but the film portrays these services as inadequate and failing those who need them the most. This leaves Arthur feeling abandoned and invisible in society. Gotham City is portrayed as having an extreme wealth gap between the rich elite and the poor, with Arthur experiencing discrimination, contempt, and indifference due to his poverty and disability. The Wayne family and Gotham's wealthy elite are portrayed as controlling the city's politics and policies, with little concern for the needs of the poor and downtrodden, thus perpetuating a corrupt system that exacerbates social problems. Furthermore, Gotham City is already a place of widespread violence, poverty, and crime before Arthur begins killing people, leading to many citizens feeling hopeless, angry, and desperate for change. So in many ways, through the institutions meant to help people like Arthur, the economic conditions, and the governance of the city as a whole, the system is illustrated as broken beyond repair. This disorder and dysfunction pushes Arthur Fleck into becoming an agent of anarchy and chaos himself. The wealthy elite of Gotham City are depicted as having a largely indifferent, contemptuous, and exploitative attitude towards the city's poor population, including the main character Arthur Fleck. The film highlights several instances of this, such as when Arthur is assaulted on the subway by young rich kids, and one of their fathers tries to bribe him to keep quiet instead of facing any consequences. This illustrates how the elite view the poor as expendable and easily bought off. The Wayne family and Gotham's billionaires are portrayed as controlling the city's politics and policies, with little concern for the actual needs of the poor, who they view as an annoyance rather than fellow citizens deserving of support. Additionally, when Arthur appears on a late-night talk show and tells a joke that offends the elite audience, he is ridiculed, booed, and fired from his clown job, demonstrating how the wealthy view the poor as a source of entertainment, but ultimately beneath them. The film implies that Gotham's economy exploits the poor through low-wage jobs and a lack of social programs, which creates an unjust system that is stacked in favor of the rich, who accumulate wealth at the expense of the downtrodden. Overall, the wealthy are depicted as largely removed from the day-to-day struggles of the poor and see poverty as an abstract problem rather than the human consequences of unjust policies and economic conditions that they have helped create. This attitude contributes to the social unrest that eventually erupts during Arthur's transformation into the Joker. The police and authorities react to the Joker's actions by attempting to track him down and stop him as they see his violence as criminal acts that must be contained. They try to restore order and stability in Gotham. Many ordinary citizens are frightened and horrified by the Joker's random killings and displays of violence as his actions create fear and panic in the city. Some disenfranchised citizens, particularly the poor and mentally ill, see the Joker as a figure of rebellion against the oppressive systems of power in Gotham. They sympathize with his nihilistic actions and destructive impulse. The wealthy elites and those in power in Gotham are shaken by the Joker's actions, which threaten to upend their privileged positions and stable existence. However, some of these figures also exhibit ruthless and corrupt tendencies that the Joker's anarchy holds a mirror to. Arthur Fleck's co-worker and only friend, Sophie Dumond, is initially sympathetic to Arthur, but grows concerned and fearful as his violent alter ego, the Joker, emerges. She ultimately rejects Arthur when he reveals his identity as the Joker. In general, authorities and most citizens seek to curb the Joker's chaos through order and stability, though some disenfranchised citizens sympathize with his rebellion against the status quo. The Joker's actions ultimately reveal fissures, corruption, and ruthlessness within Gotham's power structures and society, even as most recoil from his nihilistic violence. The Joker's ultimate goal is to create chaos and spread anarchy in Gotham City through violence and acts of mayhem. His motivations are depicted as simply wanting to accelerate the destruction of the current system for its own sake, rather than to reform or change it for the better. He seeks to drag society into the same depravity he feels, by pushing it past the breaking point. The Joker does not appear to have any positive vision for what should replace the current system, only wanting to see it collapse into chaos, so the privileged can feel some of the pain he has known. His violence and mayhem also give him a sense of power and agency he lacked as Arthur Fleck, allowing him to finally be seen and heard in a world that ignored and marginalized him. The Joker's goal embodies a nihilistic desire for chaos, anarchy, and violence as ends in themselves, rather than as a means to achieve practical objectives or create a better world. The Joker's actions demonstrate how easily the thin veneer of civilization and order can be pierced, revealing the potential for savagery and violence beneath the surface. His reign of chaos shows how quickly social structures can break down into anarchy, highlighting the fragility of order in Gotham. The reaction of Gotham's elites to the Joker reveals the selfishness, ruthlessness, and corruption that exists within systems of power. Their privileges are built on the oppression of others, exposing abuses of power and corruption within Gotham's institutions. The Joker's backstory as Arthur Fleck reveals how society ignores and marginalizes those who do not conform, breeding resentment and nihilism that can erupt in destructive ways. His story sheds light on society's indifference and neglect of the marginalized. The differing reactions to the Joker, fear from the rich, sympathy from the poor, expose the deep class divisions in Gotham and how these shape perspectives. The oppressed can relate to the Joker's rebellion against the systems that maintain inequality in society. The Joker's story, as Arthur Fleck's descent into madness, highlights the potential connection between untreated mental illness and acts of violence in society. His actions cast a spotlight on issues of mental health and the root causes of violence. The Joker's actions tap into a dark part of human nature that finds meaning and fulfillment in total anarchy and destruction. His nihilism speaks to repressed desires for chaos that exist in all of us, revealing the appeal of societal breakdown for some. In summary, the Joker's actions serve as a backdrop to explore deeper societal issues like the fragility of order, abuses of power, indifference, inequality, mental health, and the appeal of chaos within seemingly stable systems. In the end, Joker is a disturbing yet thought-provoking film about the dark side of human nature, what drives people to commit violence, and how society shapes, or fails to shape, those within it. It invites viewers to reflect on issues of mental illness, poverty, and the social conditions that both cause and help justify reprehensible actions. While some critics argue the film glorifies violence, its main themes call for more compassion and empathy in society, pointing out how dehumanization and alienation of the other can breed extremism. It encourages viewers to recognize the shared humanity in all people as a way forward, promoting empathy and art over violence as solutions to injustice and suffering. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I'm Joe. See you soon.